So imagine a different past. Tune into an alternate past. The past of the version of yourself that you already wish to be. Even just one memory. Insert one memory that the version of yourself you wish to be would have already had many times. And that now in your, well, not now, but in your 10 minutes ago version of yourself, you could only hope for. You could only dream of. But right now, you've already experienced that. Imagine that. And see the shift that it brings about right now. See how it changes your awareness, your understanding of yourself in the moment. See the release that it brings, the relief, the peace, the trust, the confidence, the union with yourself, the love. And experiment with this throughout your everyday life. Whenever you find yourself stressing and hoping for something, and then putting yourself down with ideas of unworthiness, simply imagine a different past altogether and fake it until you feel it's actually real. Now, talking about yourself can become a little bit tricky at some point. People ask you for your history. Say, which one? They go, what? What you mean? Your history? Yeah, which me? The one I am now, the one I was 10 minutes ago. My history changes all the time. Can we allow ourselves to actually experience ourselves in that way? That non-static, that non-linear. Can we give ourselves permission to do that? And you'll see that the objections that come up in your mind are all rooted in unworthiness. The idea I am inadequate, unworthy of love, unworthy of bliss, unworthy of what I desire. Even the idea like that's just not possible, you're just talking nonsense. Even that addiction to physical reality being so real and everything else being less real is a form of putting ourselves down, keeping ourselves limited and small and in check, just so that we'll be loved by people, we'll be moderately accepted on average. Because if we get a little bit crazy, if we go a little outside of the norm, then what will happen? We'll have to face our fears. And so let's call everybody else crazy. Everybody that lives their passion, let's call them just a little bit crazy. But why not be a little bit crazy? It serves me well. Now you can stay real or you can loosen up. So can you actually allow yourself to accept that you've now radically altered your past? That you actually no longer have the past. You no longer are the one whose past is the one that you've remembered for so long and repeated for so many times. That it may take a little bit of practice, but you'll see that it goes very, very quickly, surprisingly so. Why? Actually, because we've never really thought of this before. It's not part of our practice yet. It's not part of our understanding. So we don't have any defense mechanisms for this yet. And it will take a while before they develop, but before they develop, we've already gotten the hang of this, and we already have a different understanding of ourselves, because we've changed our past. So that you'll see this goes very quickly. This goes very rapidly, even if you don't believe in it entirely. You'll start to feel the effects. If you change your past, you'll start to transform right now. If you give it the benefit of the doubt, this practice, you don't even have to believe it's absolutely true. You can just think it's fantasy if you want to. I'm telling you it's not, but you can think it's fantasy. If you allow yourself to practice it, even as if it is fantasy, You'll see the results nevertheless. And the results will be so palpable and will loosen your consciousness up to such a degree that you actually see that any past is equally valid. Any past is equally real. And there is no linear static time. So changes can happen very rapidly to yourself in the now. From bodily ailments to mental ailments to emotional ailments to spiritual ailments. All of these can just like, what? Where's my tumor on my neck? It just disappeared. Now I've not actually researched this, but I've heard that there are documented cases of people that have, what's the word? I forgot, schizophrenic. That actually when they become the other person, their tumor disappears. And when they go back to the other person, their tumor reappears. Or their eye color changes. It's that real. Your fantasy, what you've labeled fantasy in Crazyland, is that real. They are able to manipulate reality and heal cancer within themselves within a few seconds. And yet you call them crazy. Who's the crazy ones?